resistance training is one of the most important things you can do as a human being after your 30th birthday.
Now, I may be completely wrong about this, so you can tell me from a personal trainer's perspective. I feel there's been a big shift over the last few years with training, that strength training, lifting weights has become let's say more prominent, more recommended to everybody, whatever their training goals are. And I've always been around the gym. I've never been a hardcore trainer in my earlier days, but I've always been around the gym, always had personal trainers, always seen other trainers training people. And unless someone has wanted to be a bodybuilder, lifting heavy weights has never really been part of people's programs. It's always been cardio, it's always been circuit training, it's always been whatever. But I now seem to feel that whether you're a woman, whether even if you don't want to get big, lifting heavy weights, generating, strength and doing strength training is much more recommended because of all the other benefits of it that, I don't know, maybe they weren't recognised medically before or whatever. I mean, do you think I've got that completely wrong? Or
no, you haven't got it completely wrong. I mean, what you've just said there, it's an amazing observation that you've acknowledged that resistance training have become more recommended to people from all walks of life, from the housewives to the 70-year-old woman, 70-year-old man. Guess what? After your 30th birthday, you are losing 10% muscle mass per decade. Scientific rationale states, research states, this is not me talking off the cuff here. There's research behind it to prove after your 30th birthday, you're losing an average 10% muscle mass per decade.
Fact. But unless you're doing something
Guess
about
what?
it. Right.
Guess what? They can reverse that. Resistance training. Resistance training is the only thing that can reverse the loss of the muscle mass that you're losing. So this is why I would highly recommend everyone does resistance training. Even if you're a runner, a veteran runner, even if you're a swimmer, even if you're a 70-year-old woman, go into the gym and just picking one exercise for each muscle group. A simple exercise you can do is walk into the gym. You can do, all the big muscle groups first. You can work your back, just doing simple lat pull down, work your chest by doing a simple machine press. If you do not like, like dumbbells or barbells, if they, or cables, if you're not too au fait with it, or you feel that you don't understand how to use those equipment, there are machines that you can use. So you can use a lat pull down, a chest press, a shoulder press machine, something to work your shoulders. Again, you've worked your shoulders, you've worked your chest, now something to work your arms, work the front and back of your arms, work your stomach, something to work your legs, like a leg press, leg curl, leg extension, and 30 minutes cardio. An incline walk or something, get your heart rate up a little bit, or if you don't like doing cardio in the gym, be more active, get like your 10,000 steps a day in. But resistance training is one of the most important things you can do as a human being after your 30th birthday. Not only is it going to reverse the muscle loss you're going to have, it's also going to protect you from brittle bones, from your bones breaking as you get older. As you get older, we know slips and falls is what kills, our older generation. Like my mum went to Israel, she went to Jerusalem and broke her wrist. Her wrist has never returned to normal. She hasn't got the mobility or the movement in her wrist that she had prior to breaking her wrist. Guess what? Because she was too fragile and her muscle mass was too low to be operated on, so they didn't operate on her, and all they did was put a cast on her, and her wrist just basically, the bone healed the way it shouldn't have healed. She's got lack of mobility through that.
Tell me, I don't want to get too granular on specific training tips here, because we've got so much more to benefit from you. But sometimes when I see people in the gym, and they're doing resistance training. I mean, presumably resistance training, you've got to have some resistance, because I see a lot of people in the gym lifting the lightest weights, and yes, I don't know them, so I don't know their full story, but I'm looking at these people thinking, you've got to be able to lift so much more than that. When you're lifting 5 kilograms, and you think it can't be. You can't be having any real resistance. It can't, like in my mind, I'm thinking, what is that possibly doing for you? I mean, am I being unfair? Have you got to be? You've got to be hitting some kind of, let's say, like intolerance to be able to lift the weight. You've got to be able to push yourself. Because I think as well, one of the reasons why so many people don't do strength training, don't do resistance training, is because they go, well, I'm not doing that because I don't want to be big. I think, well, you're a long way from being big.
Let me take the jam out your donut, guys out there. Lifting weights and lifting what sort of weights, or lifting a 40 kilogram or 20 kilograms or 30-pound dumbbell isn't going to make you big. Women, girls, you're not going to get arms like this lifting dumbbells. If you do, I'll be very scared. I'm going to run for the hills. Trust me, you just don't have enough testosterone to that. And I'm going to take the jam out of the donut for men that say they don't want to be big and they don't want to look like me. I'll be like, don't worry, you won't.
Yeah.
You won't look like me. But I think a lot of people just have limited beliefs. They have limited beliefs in themselves, and lack of understanding. Again, this goes back to what I said. They are the expert in their business. So you've got like a massive CEO of a business who's making millions of pounds, millions of dollars a year, but yet doesn't understand fitness. But because he's such an egotistic individual, and he believes that I'm a businessman, I make this much money, I implement this, I have achieved that. He tries to align his ability here with his ability here, where his ability here is not the same as his ability here. So it's very difficult. A lot of people need to just drop their ego and reach out for help. Because when they reach out for help for people like myself, we will be able to structure their program correctly and educate them, because education is key. You can lift more, but people don't know what they're doing really. They go into the gym, they just think, I'll just do my legs or do my shoulders, and they pick up injuries because they don't know what they're doing. The most important thing is that a lot of people, like I said at the beginning, need to have guidance. Like, I need guidance in business. I haven't got a Scooby. Literally, I have an online company and I have a business coach to help me get my company to where I want it to be. So even if you have a personal trainer for 3 months, get a personal trainer for 3 months. The skill set you're going to learn from that trainer that you have for 3 months will set you up for life, because then you can go into the gym and navigate the gym a lot better, because you'll have an understanding of the skill set that you've learned from working with a trainer, or working with an online coach for 3 months, that you can implement for the rest of your life. So it goes down to people not having the ability to reach out for help, people not having the ability to say to themselves, I don't know as much as I know within this environment. I'm not the king of this castle, or I'm not the queen of this castle.